Hello everyone, my name is Sky Madrid and this is my Pecha Kucha project, the adaptation of Legends. The adaptation of Legends is the process of a legend becoming a story and then that story being adapted to suit generations. And the reason a legend will become a story is for the reason of adapting to suit another generation. Uh, it's used so those legends don't fade away into history. How the stories that your grandfather told your father and then your father tells you will not be the same. Just like how a legend portrayed across many generations will be altered to suit different generations. Now, there are pros and there are cons to this, like to everything. A pro is that, like I said, the legend won't die. It'll remain in history. It'll remain in the on the common man's tongue. Now, the con is you change it too much, it isn't pure to the original story. Uh, Thor, the Norse god of thunder. That is an excellent example of how something can start off as a legend and then eventually be changed. Here, Thor is to the Norse people was the god of thunder. He was a boisterous, middle-aged, red-haired warrior who enjoyed his drink. He was kind of a common man's god. He was the one who brought bountiful harvests and such. He was, the common man's god. That, like I said, that's how he was portrayed. That's how the Norse people saw him. Now here you can see in the comic, it's not exactly the same. Hair is not red, no beard. Changed to more of the American standard, at least at the time, the 1960s, of Thor. He was changed from a god to a superhero. Stan Lee wanted to take a lot of the original Norse legend and apply it into the comic, and so he did. He left a lot of the big details. Really smart move. He was Odin's son, Loki's brother, God of Thunder, the big major details. But the things he did change were what adapted him to suit the generations of which he was in. For his original comic, he was adapted to be more of the common American man's kind of superhero. His armor was replaced with, superhero's clothing. He was made to look more like the American man. He was also portrayed to be more of a kinder, poster boy style. In Thor the movie, another production, another form of the Thor story, still by Marvel, but still adapted for another generation. This movie, released in 2011, showed Thor as a different kind of hero, a different kind of god. It showed him more of at his weak point. This shows Thor's first trip to Earth, at least the movie does, but it's not accurate compared to how the comic goes. Another adaptation. They also changed the way his character talked and looked, like the addition of the beard kind of make him rough and tumble for the teenagers of the generation. Heracles, a Greek hero, Hercules, as commonly pronounced. He was another, common man's hero. He wasn't a god, but he was his father was. He was half god, so it gave him extraordinary strength, and so on and so forth. But he was considered the greatest of the Greek heroes. And he has countless of legends of his great triumphs and so on and so forth. One of the most common, though, is him and his 12 labors. His father was Zeus, but his mother was not Hera, Zeus's wife. He was a bastard child. So Hera, in his elder age, caused Hercules to go into a blind madness and murder his own children. Something that didn't exactly get carried on into the American versions of Hercules and his stories. In the 1990s, the series Hercules and the Legendary Adventures debuted, and you can see a picture of Hit and Kevin Sorbo standing there as Hercules. They used this adaptation to bring Hercules back into the world, quote unquote, and portray him for the 20 to 30 demographic. Kevin Sorbo was cast because he was handsome, and he was a very talented actor. They even changed the Hercules story to kind of match around it. It was set in Greece, but with a taste of Egyptian, Oriental, medieval elements, so on and so forth, and it made it a little more understandable to the people that were watching the show. He remained the son of Zeus and not the son of Hera. That big detail remained the same. So a lot of the key details, like along with Thor and his changes, stayed the same. And then finally came another adaptation for another generation, another demographic, another audience, Disney's version of Hercules, the cartoons you can see here in this picture. He was portrayed to be the, as tough as you would expect a half god to be, but he didn't have any of the more or less cons of Hercules' personality. Since it was geared more towards the children, it kind of gave it more of a goofy, childish take on the legend, while still kind of remaining true. He was turned more into the foolish and bumbling hero instead of the brash big man of the original Hercules. Shown more to want to prove himself as a hero than just show the fact that he already is. And as I said before, the taking out of the murdering of his own children, that was essential, especially since the demographic was children. So this is another adaptation of an adaptation. My final notes on the subject is the ability to adapt is important in all forms, including literature. And never forget to keep the heart of a legend if you're going to make something based off of it. Thank you very much.